So for this video, we're going to simulate meeting a new patient and running over some quick screening techniques that we probably should all be doing anytime we meet a new patient. So the first one would be cognition, and we could be looking for cognition in terms of alertness, orientation, vigilance, being able to follow commands, vigilance, and we would dig deeper into that if we found issues with the patient based off of just having a conversation with them. While we're doing this, if we're asking them cognition questions, we can also be doing vitals. So blood pressures, heart rates, respiratory rates, oxygen levels, all that kind of stuff. And depending on where you're practicing, the kind of patient you're seeing, you might want to do integumentary, so stuff like pressure, sores, surgical sites, anything like that. And then once we've kind of covered all those bases, we can move into a more neuro-focused screening technique. So the first one would be dermatomes. It's going to be a lot like a light touch test, but the intention of it is to feel or to assess the patient's certain root levels in various limbs. So I would instruct the patient to close their eyes. I would inform them that I'm going to touch them lightly, and I would show them on their leg if I'm going to work on their arm, just so there's no carryover and skewed results. So I'm going to say, close your eyes. I'm going to touch you, and you tell me if you feel it or not. So,
yes, 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 yes.
So those are the root levels from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, T1, T2. You wouldn't do it in that order. You would like to change up the pattern using or going from, you do this bilaterally, don't you do it unilaterally. Change your cadence so that the patient doesn't catch on. So just mix it up some when doing those. The next one we could do is the lower extremity, and then we would just tell the patient, close your eyes, you're going to feel this, but on your leg, let me know when you feel it. And so we would test it like this. Close your eyes for me.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right, and so the levels for that is L2, L3, L4, L5, S1, and S2. And again, we would test this bilaterally, and we would do random ordering in different cadences just so the patient can't catch on to it. And so after we establish dermatomes, we want to look at peripheral nerves. And again, the point of this test is our intention, why we are doing it. So we're not testing root levels, we're testing nerves that are out in the periphery. So we have the same set of rules, have them close their eyes, tell them what they're going to feel, and then they respond. So tell me when you feel me touch you. Close your eyes.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right, same rules apply. Make it random, different cadences. This is supraclavicular. This is axillary, antebrachial, lateral antebrachial, medial antebrachial, radial, median, and ulnar nerves. Okay? And so once we get done with that, we're done with the sensation, like dermatomes, peripheral nerves. Now we want to look at root level fatigue through our myotomes, okay? So we're going to instruct the patient that we are going to have them push against our hands in certain motions, and we're going to test that for 5 seconds to check for fatigable weakness. Okay? So I'm going to push against your head. I want you to push into my palm. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's C2. Push into my hand. Good. That's C3. Shrug your shoulders up. That's C4. Chicken wing it. That's C5. Bring your arm in this direction. Don't let me pull you down. That's C6. Bring your arm out. Don't let me bend your arm. That's C7. Thumb up. Don't let me push you down. That's C8. Fingers out. Don't let me push you in. And that is T1. Okay. We can do the same thing in the lower body. So I'll have you raise your leg up to about right here. Don't let me push you down. All right, that's L2. I'll have you kick your leg out here. Don't let me push you down. All right, that is L3. Bring your toes towards the ceiling. Oopsies. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that. Toes towards the ceiling. No, you can keep it down. All right, push against me. L4, toe up. I would make him take his sock off. Okay. Toe up. Don't let me push you down. Good. That is L5. All right. Bring me your toe. Point your foot down. Don't let me push you back. That's S1. And then S2 would be this. Don't let me pull your leg out. All right, S2. So, we've covered all the myotomes, dermatomes, and peripheral nerves for the upper and lower body. The next thing we want to look at is cranial nerves. And I probably should have done this before myotomes, but it's okay. So for the first one is olfactory. So I'd have the patient close his eyes, close one of your nostrils, and using a non-noxious smell, something like mint or an alcohol swab, be like, do you smell anything?
No.
All right, good. He passed. I don't have anything. And I would have him do the same thing with the other nose. Then the next one would be our optic nerve. And the way we would do that is use a flashlight. I don't have my pen, but I would have the patient look straight forward. I would be looking into his eyes to see for pupillary constriction. Yep. So he's got them on both sides. And what we want to do there is check ipsilateral constriction for cranial nerve 2, while also looking at the contralateral side for pupillary constriction for cranial nerve 3. After that, we can test multiple cranial nerves in just a few tests for cranial nerve 3, cranial nerve 4, cranial nerve 6, which is oculomotor, trochlear, and abducens. So what I have you do is follow my finger. All right, good. And you're just looking for smooth motor movements. With that, we can also do this, the convergence. So I'm going to bring my finger to you. I want you to follow my finger, and I want you to tell me when you see double or it gets blurry.
Blurry.
All right, and I only got like half a centimeter or half an inch to his nose, so he did good there. Next, we want to check trigeminal nerve, cranial nerve 5. So can you clench your jaw? Clench your jaw. There you go. You can also do sensation testing for the 3 branches. Again, make it random, different cadences. So branch 1 is here, 2, and 3. So I'd have him close his eyes, and he would tell me where he feels it.
Yes. 3. 3. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Okay. So we've covered 1 through 6. Actually, yeah, 1 through 6. The 7th one would be facial, and that would cover our facial expressions. So can you puff your cheeks out? Can you make a mean face? Can you make a sad face? All right. So that's facial. Then we go into cranial nerve 8, which is our vestibular cochlear nerve. We can test that by standing in a Romberg. So I would have the patient stand up, arms across your chest. I'd be guarding the patient by the side, feet together, and he would stand there for 30 seconds. Then I'd have him close his eyes for 30 seconds. Good. Then I would have him do sharpen Romberg. So bring one foot in front of the other. 30 seconds, switch the feet, 30 seconds with eyes closed too. And then we would do single leg stance. So one foot on the ground, eyes open, eyes closed, 30 seconds, both limbs. So there goes cranial nerve 8. Next, we would do a combination of cranial nerve 9 and 10, which is going to cover glossopharyngeal and vagus. And so, can you go, ah, ah? And while he's doing that, I'm checking for palate movement. Can you go, ah, ah? Can you go, oh, ah? All right. So, next, we're going to do cranial nerve 11, which is spinal accessory. And you can either test like a myotone test for upper traps or sternocleidomastoid. So I'm going to have you raise your shoulders up like you're shrugging. I'm going to push down. Good. And then a motion for the sternocleidomastoid would be, can you look to your left and then bring your head down? And that would contract the CSM, and then we could do a manual muscle test or a myotone testing on that. And then finally is our hypoglossal nerve. It's a cranial nerve 12. And I would have him stick his tongue out. Good. And if there was any deviations, that would tell me where a lesion could possibly be with this certain nerve. And so, once we've covered all those, we can kind of tie it all together and look at motor control and motor coordination. So I'm going to do the therapist finger to patient nose test. So, you see my finger here? Mm-hmm. I want you to touch your nose and then touch my finger. Good. What you're looking for here is fluid movement, being able to accurately pinpoint your nose as well as the therapist's nose and not overshooting. And so that covers pretty much the basis of a neurosensory screening. If you were to find any deficits with any of these tests, then it would warrant further investigation.